Welcome to the module, Understanding How to Consolidate Employability of Distance Education Graduates. We are Amparo Hormigos and Javier Gimenez, from University of Alicante. Let's begin with the third video of this module, entitled, Occupational Observatories and Job Statistics. In this second video of our module, we're going to turn our attention to how we can make employability tangible and concrete. We'll move beyond the abstract concept and turn it into something that can be measured, monitored, and managed. To do this, we'll examine more closely the crucial role of employment and entrepreneurship observatories within universities. We'll explore exactly what they are and what kind of information they collect. We will also discuss how they need to present that information so it's truly useful for students, faculty, and administrative staff. After that, we will then discuss why gathering, processing, and analyzing that information is essential in order to improve our degree programs and the activities of our employment centers. This way we are closing the feedback loop between what we offer to our students and how our graduates fare in the real world. Part 1. Definition and core characteristics of a university occupational observatory. First, let's define what we mean by an observatory in this specific context and outline its primary functions. A university employment or entrepreneurship observatory is far more than a simple statistics office. It is a specialized service or unit, often integrated within or working closely with the career center, whose central mission is to systematically collect, analyze, monitor, and disseminate critical data concerning four key areas: the career paths of our graduates, the feedback from employers who hire them, the outcomes of entrepreneurial ventures, and the broader trends within the external labor market. Its key functions are multifaceted and designed to provide a holistic view. Primarily, it involves the continuous tracking of our graduates after they complete their studies. This goes beyond just knowing if they are employed. It seeks to understand crucial details such as employment rates within specific fields, the sectors they are working in, the average time it takes to secure that first job, levels of job stability, the degree to which their job is related to their field of study, and their overall satisfaction with their professional position. For the growing number who choose self-employment, the observatory tracks how many start their own companies or freelance ventures, what specific support they needed, the obstacles they faced, and how we can measure the success of those ventures, be it through survival rates, growth, or income generated. Secondly, the observatory actively gathers structured feedback from employers. This is not anecdotal evidence, it is about systematically asking employers what skills they perceive as lacking in new hires, which competencies are most in demand now and for the future, how our graduates actually perform on the job compared to their peers from other institutions, and what technologies or tools are becoming standard in their industries. Thirdly, it monitors external labor market trends by analyzing data on sector growth or contraction, emerging demand for specific professions, regional and national unemployment figures filtered by qualification level, and the impact of technological shifts and automation. Finally, all of this synthesized information serves as a critical input into the university's quality assurance procedures, accreditation processes, strategic institutional planning, and its commitment to transparency and accountability to students and society. The information collected is both quantitative and qualitative, drawn from a deliberate mix of internal and external sources to ensure robustness and context. Internal data is gold dust and includes graduate surveys, sometimes conducted longitudinally, for instance, surveying cohorts 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years after graduation, to gather data on employment status, salary brackets, sector, job type, and satisfaction levels. It also encompasses surveys of employers who have a history of hiring from our university, asking them pointed questions about skills gaps and preparation. Surveys of current students about their career expectations and entrepreneurial intentions are also key, as is internal data on student participation in internships, extracurricular activities, and academic performance. Externally, observatories tap into the vast resources of national statistics offices for authoritative data on employment, unemployment, wages, and the labor market broken down by region and sector. They analyze reports published by government ministries of education and labor, studies conducted by industry associations and professional bodies, and participate in cross-university benchmarking surveys that allow for valuable comparative analysis. The overarching goal is to build a repository of reliable, comparable, and up-to-date information, ideally longitudinal in nature, to track meaningful and evolving trends over time. However, collecting this vast amount of data is only the first step. Its value is only realized if it is presented effectively to different audiences, each with their own needs and perspectives. Best practices in presentation are therefore essential. This includes producing comprehensive annual or biennial reports that contain clear key performance indicators, such as employment rates after graduation, average time to find work, job alignment with studies, and average starting salaries. Complementing these reports, interactive digital dashboards with dynamic visualizations, charts, maps, and filters that allow users to explore data by degree, faculty, or region are incredibly powerful tools for engagement. To provide meaningful context, benchmarking is important. Comparing the performance and outcomes of specific programs against similar programs at other peer institutions, tracking internal trends over time, and understanding how the university performs against regional or national averages are all analyses to consider. As different academic fields have vastly different labor market dynamics, data should be disaggregated and presented in detailed profiles for each study area or faculty. A report for an engineering faculty will look profoundly different from one for humanities. These faculty-level reports are instrumental in helping professors and deans understand the specific realities and opportunities within their own domain. Incorporating the employer perspective through summarized reports on employer satisfaction surveys and identified skills gaps adds a critical external validation layer. Similarly, clear metrics on entrepreneurship, number of startups founded, survival rates, uptake of university support services, help to champion and refine this pathway. For students, the information must be highly accessible and designed for their needs. This means dedicated web portals, engaging infographics, and career guides that directly utilize the observatory's data to offer practical advice on degree choice and realistic job market expectations. Finally, active engagement through events, such as workshops, webinars, and panel discussions where data is shared, debated, and reflected upon with students and faculty, transforms raw data into a living, breathing conversation that can drive change. Part 2. The case of the Employment and Entrepreneurship Observatory of the University of Alicante. A concrete example that effectively illustrates these principles in action is the Employment and Entrepreneurship Observatory of the University of Alicante, UA. This observatory operates as a dedicated service within the UA's Career Center. Its stated aim is the systematic measurement and analysis of the transition from university to the labor market for the university students and graduates. Its methodology combines both internal and external data sources in a transparent manner. Internally, it leverages a detailed graduate labor insertion survey managed by the Technical Quality Unit, a specific survey for companies that offer jobs to UA graduates, a survey on entrepreneurial intention developed in collaboration with the International GUESSS project, and studies on the student profile conducted by specialized firms like Universum. Externally, it integrates data from Spain's National Statistics Institute, INE, on the labor market insertion of university graduates, as well as analyses from national surveys of employers conducted by the Conference of Rectors of Spanish Universities, CRUE. The mission of the observatory is clear: to offer the entire university community, students, faculty, and staff, reliable data and analyses to understand how graduates are integrating into the labor market, to identify which sectors are absorbing talent, to pinpoint potential deficits in training, and to highlight emerging trends. It fulfills this mission by making its measurements and analyses publicly available through reports in its website, where it also clearly lists its data sources, lending legitimacy and transparency to its work. The observatory's outputs directly feed into the documented activities of the Career Center, such as managing internships, training programs, and company connection events, thereby creating a direct link between analysis and action. Briefly, here we can take a look at our web page. The measurements and analysis included are divided into the following sections: job placement by degree, companies' preferences, entrepreneurial intention among students, academic perspective, career opportunities, UA students' profile. Part 3. The critical importance of data analysis. Now, let's address the fundamental question: why is this extensive work not merely an interesting academic exercise, but an absolute essential for a modern university? And how can we, as an institution, effectively leverage this intelligence to tangibly improve what we offer? The importance is multifaceted. Firstly, it is the primary mechanism for aligning our academic offerings with labor market realities. Without this data, universities operate on assumptions and tradition, risking the teaching of outdated content or skills that no longer match employer demands. Observatories provide the hard evidence needed to identify which sectors are growing, which specific skill sets, be it digital literacy, data analytics, or sustainability expertise, are increasingly important, and where our graduates might be struggling to find relevant employment. Secondly, it is the most effective way to identify and close perceived skill gaps. Direct feedback from employers and alumni can reveal specific shortcomings, whether in advanced technical tools, applied project management, interdisciplinary thinking, or soft skills like communication. Once these gaps are empirically identified, they can be systematically addressed through targeted curriculum changes, new modules, or supplementary workshops and certification programs. Thirdly, this data provides irrefutable evidence for strategic decision-making at all levels. For faculty departments and program directors, it informs decisions about launching new degrees, discontinuing or significantly overhauling obsolete ones, and reallocating resources. For institutional leadership, it supports accreditation processes, strategic planning, and conversations about the university's societal impact. Fourthly, it dramatically enhances the information available to students, allowing them to make informed choices about their degrees and careers with a realistic understanding of potential career paths, employment rates, and salary expectations for their field of study. This helps manage expectations and allows students to proactively plan their university journey, seeking out relevant internships and skill-building opportunities. Fifthly, and crucially for our centers, this data is indispensable for improving and refining the actions of the Careers and Employability Office. It can help identify which student cohorts or programs might be at risk of poorer outcomes, which employability tools and workshops are having the greatest impact, and where to strategically focus resources, for example, by increasing mentoring for certain disciplines, boosting employer engagement in specific sectors, or scaling up entrepreneurship support where interest is high. Finally, this process creates a true feedback loop for accountability and continuous improvement. After implementing changes, a new course module, a strengthened internship requirement, a series of soft skills workshops, we can return to the data. Did employment rates for that cohort improve? Did employer satisfaction scores rise? Did more graduates from that program secure jobs in their field? This allows us to assess the efficacy of our interventions and make data-driven decisions about future improvements, ensuring our institution remains agile and responsive to the changing demands of the economy, technology, and society. To implement this effectively, a structured and collaborative approach is necessary. It cannot be a process driven solely by a central observatory working in isolation. Best practices suggest a model of deep integration. A highly effective strategy is to assign clear responsibility within each faculty or area of knowledge. This could be a vice dean for employability, a dedicated academic lead, or a specific liaison whose role is to work with the observatory's data, interpret it for their specific disciplinary context, feed insights back to their curriculum committees, and champion data-informed changes within their school. Establishing regular coordination meetings between the observatory, the Central Careers Service, and these faculty representatives is essential to review trends, discuss deficits, and plan collaborative interventions. A formal process to incorporate observatory findings into the regular curriculum review and accreditation cycles ensures that this data becomes a mandatory and central part of academic quality assurance, rather than an optional extra. The Careers Service itself must adjust its support offerings based on the data. If graduates in certain fields lack specific digital tools or language skills, targeted workshops can be developed. If entrepreneurship rates are low, more incubator support and awareness campaigns can be directed there. Maintaining a commitment to transparency and actively communicating findings to students, faculty, and staff fosters a culture of shared responsibility for graduate outcomes. And finally, the process requires a commitment to monitoring outcomes over time with the flexibility to update methods and questions regularly, ensuring the university's understanding of the labor market evolves as quickly as the market itself. To summarize this video, employment and entrepreneurship observatories are essential infrastructure for universities. They collect rich data from graduates, employers, students, and external sources. It is crucial not just to collect data, but to present it in accessible ways, disaggregate by degree/faculty, compare, include both employment and entrepreneurship, measure satisfaction and alignment, use dashboards, reports, and summaries that reach all stakeholders. Most importantly, that information must be used. Faculties and employment/careers services must collaborate to adapt curricula, offer new or adjusted training, close skill gaps, improve student guidance, evolve with labor market changes. Having persons responsible in each faculty or area of knowledge is a good practice to make sure that data is interpreted and applied in each context. Through regular cycles of measurement, feedback, intervention, and remeasurement, we ensure that the university's educational mission truly supports the employability of its students over time, even as times, sectors, and technologies change. We hope that this information was useful for you. Thank you very much for your attention.